This podcast is sponsored by Pocket Hose.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn. Homeowners, listen up. Before Pocket Hose, garden hoses were heavy, bulky, hard to carry, and always kinking. Then Pocket Hose changed all that. It's the American invention that made watering lighter, easier, and smarter. And now, the world's #1 expanding hose has gone ballistic. Turn on the water and watch it grow from a compact hose into a full-length, powerful hose. Turn off the water and it shrinks right back down, making it easy to carry and easy to store. But now it's even better. With a tough ballistic-infused outer sleeve, a pocket pivot that helps reduce kinks at the spigot, thicker washers to help resist leaks, and UV protection to fight sun damage. And for a limited time, you'll get 2 free gifts, a 360-degree pocket pivot and a thumb drive nozzle. Just go to PocketHose.com/podcast. That's PocketHose.com/podcast for your 2 free gifts with purchase. PocketHose.com/PODCAST.
Hey, this is Kellie Raspberry Evans. The first time I get to say that on a sandwich and some loving with my husband, Alan Evans.
Your hubby.
Hubby.
This is Alan Evans.
Yes, a sandwich and some loving. This is the first podcast. You know, we've been married a couple weeks now, but it's the first time we've been back to do a sandwich and some loving. So we're so excited. I know the wedding is, a few weeks old now, but it's still new to us, and we love to talk about it, whoever wants to listen.
Oh, we'll talk about it, yeah.
And so today's podcast is going to be about our wedding and all the details and all the fun stuff, and maybe some stuff we haven't shared with each other, maybe something we found to be disappointing, something we thought we could have done better or different. Although I can't think of anything at the moment.
I can't think of anything at the moment, but maybe we'll uncover something.
Yeah, as we're talking, stuff does tend to reveal itself. But we've invited a special guest.
Very special guest.
Yes. Would you like to introduce?
Yes. We have Dianthe Hall, who is here with us, and she was our wedding coordinator.
Yeah, wedding planner, wedding coordinator. And Dianthe, from the Kid Craddock Morning Show.
That's right.
Started off as a phone screener, really, from a radio contest we had.
Yep.
And then you started your own bridal consultant business?
I did. I was a wedding planner for 10 years, and part of that time was while I was working here for the morning show. And then I went home and had babies and did some more wedding planning. And then when the third baby came, I retired, so to speak.
Yeah, but she came out of retirement for me.
I did.
And I was really appreciative because I honestly could not have had the wedding we could have had the wedding we had without Dianthe.
No.
Because there's so much. You think, man, planning a wedding is as simple as finding location, getting somebody to make a cake and flowers. And there really is more to it than that.
There's so many moving pieces. And I think after I officially stopped planning weddings, I went to work for a wedding venue just as a site coordinator. So I was really just there, went for the day of the event, during the event to make sure, they need to turn on a light or we need an extra table or basically don't burn the place down. And I got to see from the other side what it looks like when you don't have a planner or when you don't have great vendors. And I mean, it can destroy your wedding.
Yeah. And I don't think we had anything. I mean, I know there was a couple of little glitches that the guests at the wedding had no idea. They would have never known.
Have noticed.
But honestly, it was pretty much flawless thanks to Dianthe. And
thank
we're,
you.
And a lot of people think because I'm on the radio and Alan, now we're doing the podcast, that we just got whatever we wanted for free.
Yeah, that's not how that
works.
works.
Not
no, it wasn't
how
free.
This works.
No, I guarantee you it wasn't free.
I don't know why there is that perception, but no, I think I did get the friend and family discount from my brother, who was our minister. So he performed the ceremony. But a lot of times when you find a wedding officiant, they're always like, well, just give me whatever you think you should pay me. And I wish they wouldn't do that. I don't care if they give me a high dollar amount, low dollar amount. Just give me a dollar amount.
Yeah.
Guessing is so hard.
Okay, now here's the deal. Since Dianthe is here with us today, there's an elephant in the room.
What?
Have we taken care of Dianthe?
Oh, yes.
See, the reason Alan's asking is because Alan doesn't know.
I just want to make sure.
That wifey took care of everybody. And I did have one screw up. We'll get to that in a minute, though.
But Kellie took very good care of me.
Good.
Yeah.
Very, very generous.
Good.
Again, it's because...
Well, you didn't tell, babe, you didn't tell
I
me.
know. I just take care of things, baby. I don't want you to worry your pretty head about it.
Well, I wanted to make sure Dianthe, she worked hard.
She did. And the only other thing, like Big Al, I wanted to surprise people and have, at the end of the night when everybody's dancing and the food's long gone, to go out and find pizza, his pizza truck there. And Al, I'll be honest, we give Al a lot of hard times on the radio and a lot of grief. His pizza's really good.
Yeah.
So he gave me the friends and family discount for that. But again, it's like just pay me whatever you want, baby. And I'm like, don't, just tell me what the discount is. I'd rather just write the dollar amount and whatever. So just get that out in the open. So anybody we give a plug to today, it's not because I owe them anything, because we paid for everything.
Every penny.
And we're but we're so happy with the way everything went that we want you to support them because they did right by us.
Yeah. And having fantastic vendors can make or break your wedding.
Yes.
And it really, really can.
And it all started with, Dianthe just contacted me. I don't remember if I called you first or you called. I honestly don't remember because, it was such a whirlwind engagement. We were married after only a 5-month engagement.
Yeah.
So basically it was like, Dianthe, I don't even know. First thing I had to do was pick the venue.
Yes.
And that was really the most important thing. And then, of course, the next thing became the most important thing. But,
well, and the venue, it was tough for us because you only had 5 months and everything was booked. And when, I started looking and I started, hitting up my vendor friends and putting feelers out and, no, we're booked. Well, is she flexible on her date? Can we move it to this date? Can we? And it was just, back and forth. And I had people emailing me and, hey, we're willing to work with her if we can, but we were set on that date. So
because of our vacation schedule.
Yeah, so that limited things. But then
people were willing to give us a great deal for a Thursday night wedding. I'm like, I don't want to get married on a Thursday night. You know?
In retrospect, I'm surprised we found such a cool venue because it was me, I think, who put some restrictions on. I was kind of the location snob in a way. Nothing wrong with a hotel wedding, but I said, I would prefer if we didn't have our wedding in a hotel or the ceremony in a hotel.
And we both had already had big church weddings, so that wasn't like of utmost importance.
And then we needed something close for, out of town guests to get to, something not way out.
Right. That was one of the problems too, is we went to one location in the heart of Dallas, and I won't name it because, I don't want to ever speak ill of any company, but it was just way too expensive. And then you had to deal with something in the heart of Dallas, the parking issues.
Yeah, downtown parking is tough.
It was a nightmare, and it was, again, very expensive. So we crossed that off the list. And then we were looking online at all these wonderful wedding sites like The Knot and places like that. And people suggest these beautiful rustic barn locations, but so far out.
Yeah. And when you're trying to get 200 people 60 miles away and hoping, that people show up and that they show up on time and that they, don't RSVP and bail, it can be very difficult.
So we wanted something
something far out.
The rustic, very trendy right now to do the barn theme and the DIY kind of looking wedding, even though I would not have DIY'd anything. I pay for it. But I wanted
or have me DIY.
Or have you do it. Yes, baby. We started driving to a location and we got about we were like, oh my God, we've been driving 30 minutes and we're still not there yet. Turn around. We didn't even go look at it because at that point I was afraid if I fall in love with the venue, then I'm really screwed. So I didn't want to see it. But we finally settled on, and I know for people that don't live in and around the Plano, Frisco area, it was a long haul for them. But for us, it was super convenient to have it at the Stonebriar Country Club.
And it was beautiful.
It's a beautiful venue. It only held, it was really kind of weird. They said 220 for the ceremony, but 200 for the reception. It's like, well, what are we going to tell 20 people they can't come? So we tried to limit it to 200 guests. And ended up having, I think, because of the no's, some people couldn't make it because it ended up being a holiday weekend. We had about 180, I'd say, right?
Yeah, right at that.
And I loved it that everything was in one location. The first time I got married, we had the church wedding, and then we had everybody drive to a separate location for the reception. And I didn't want to do that again. Yeah,
it's always convenient when you have everybody there in one spot and they just have to move from one room to the other. When you have two different locations, you lose people.
Yeah.
You'll have people that will come to the ceremony and then will decide, I'm tired or it's too far or, and they bail. Or you have people that don't come to the ceremony and they only come to the reception.
Yeah, boo. So I think pretty much we were packed out there. I mean, well, we had a few no-shows. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, I never felt like the room was too small for all the guests. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, it was. It was good.
Guests perfect. And one thing I thought I'd mention just real quick on our website, kellyandalan.com. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to kind of follow along with some of the things we're talking about on this episode of the podcast, I've posted some pictures and links to some of the vendors there.
Great.
So, yeah, Stonebriar Country Club. Frisco is a suburb of Dallas, about 20 minutes from downtown Dallas, straight north. Yeah.
With no traffic, but you've
With
got
no
the
traffic,
construction
yeah.
and it's just a mess right now.
Right.
So then after we selected the venue, what was the next thing we had? I think we did the cake next. I mean, we just went
Yeah,
kind of
you
a little
guys
out
did
of
the
order.
cake because you had a personal connection with your mom knew the cake people.
This lady at my
or-
church who does a lot of catering at the church, she said, and I thought she was just being funny, but she said, you need to call Red Raspberry Cakes. I'm like, oh, because of the name. She's like, no, they just really do good cakes. But, we have this, I had an Uncle Red Raspberry, and it's like, this is kind of like a no-brainer. But these two sisters, they work out of their house. And the reason it's called Red Raspberry Cakes is their dad used to have a band, and they were called the Red Raspberries.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Isn't that right, honey? Isn't that
Yeah,
what they said?
I think that's what
So
they
it's two
told.
sisters, and they, we just went to their home, and at the front of their house was like a tasting room. And we ended up going with their signature flavor, which was the Red Raspberry Swirl.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did another layer, and they have all these different flavors, but my other favorite was the white chocolate. So we had a layer of red raspberry, a layer of white chocolate. Red raspberry, white
so good.
chocolate. But the very top layer, Alan, for his groom's cake, had the chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip, yellow cake.
Yeah.
And then milk chocolate, this is my favorite cake
Yeah.
ever. And then milk chocolate icing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we made
so
that.
good.
We made that for
So
the top
good.
layer that we were going to save for our 1 year anniversary, but then we decided to go ahead and eat it. Well, we decided we'll just order a fresh top. Why
That's
would we?
the best way to go.
Yeah, why would you risk having freezer burn on an old cake when you can just go back to that original bakery and we're going to ask them on our 1 year anniversary to recreate the top. Done.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
But my daughter had the idea. My daughter, Emma Kellie, Alan proposed to me at Reunion Tower, and she was talking about cake pops. And we were like, oh, we won't do the expense of the cake pops. So I will say this. The Red Raspberry Cakes did, as a gift, because of Emma Kellie's suggestion, they did gift us with, I think, about 30 cake pops that were decorated to look like Reunion Tower.
They were so cute.
They were so cute and delicious.
They were. I will tell
So
you,
good.
because I've been in the wedding industry for so long, I am a huge cake snob. I'm the biggest cake snob, and I will tell you flat out if something does not taste good. Those cakes were so good
and beautiful. They recreated for Alan's cake the way he proposed to me, the magic cards that said Alan loves Kellie and will you marry me. They recreated that on top of the cake. It was identical.
It was cool because the detail they put into the cards, it was exactly every dot, every star.
Everything.
It was exactly how I did it.
Even that like pattern that's on the back of a card, how they have red and navy patterns. They even recreated that.
Yeah.
And it was all icing.
Edible.
Crazy
All
good
edible.
cakes, red raspberry cakes. We were very happy with that. Now, let's see. For the flowers, I guess we'll go with that next.
That was Brenna with a fresh approach. Now,
A fresh approach.
worked with Brenna a lot when I was a planner, and I knew that she would be perfect for you. And it was funny that when we'd gone to see the venue, and they give you a packet, and they have preferred vendors that they work with on a regular basis. And her company was the very first line, was the very first name. And so when I opened it and just looked at it, I was like, Kellie, that's exactly who I was going to call.
Yeah. And so she did a wonderful job because I know nothing about flowers. I know my favorite flower is a hydrangea. And that's what Alan proposed with a mixture of roses and hydrangeas. I said, so I just want a mixture somehow in there of roses and hydrangeas. And I want to do probably shades of, well, we didn't know at that point. I'd picked out these hideous flower girls dresses that I ended up taking back and just going with ivory. But then the girls wanted to wear pink shoes. And so I said, just do shades of pink in some form. And they just ended up being beautiful.
And that's what, that's part of the thing when you have really good vendors, because you can say this, just kind of give them an idea and you can trust them to bring your vision to life without having to have 10 meetings and go back and forth and emailing them 100 pictures. And
I didn't care. I just want to be pretty. And she sent me the first proposal. I was like, whoa, flowers are really expensive.
Good flowers are expensive.
Well, she changed a couple of things and brought the price down a little bit more. But flowers are just expensive, people, and you're just going to have to accept that.
They are. They're expensive. They come from overseas.
Yes.
They have to ship them in. It's hard to grow. They are. They're just expensive. And even if you've ever bought, a dozen roses,
Yes.
flowers are expensive.
Yeah.
So if you think about you're trying to put flowers on 20 tables, and then you need, bouquets, and you need boutonnieres, and you need all that stuff adds up. Plus, you have to think about, for the most part, the wedding florists are usually smaller companies. So it's one or two people that are doing all of the labor, and they usually have to rent the vases, and, they have to come set it up. They have to come back out at midnight and tear it down. So there's a lot that goes into it that people think it's like, oh, I'll just tie together some roses and it'll be fine.
That's kind of how I thought. So, but as a man, not knowing, I guess, a whole lot about wedding flowers, my first impression was they're big and they're really full and everything looks really fresh.
Yeah.
So I was happy with I was happy with that. And they look beautiful in the pictures.
And I thought I was going to save money by like, I'm just going to toss my real bouquet, which was gigantic. And I'm glad she said, well, I was going to give you I guess most florists give you the tossing bouquet for free. So that was included anyway. Oh. And then we got little tiny, I wanted my mother and your mother to carry something. I didn't want them to wear a corsage.
What's that word for it? It's got a
nosegay.
A nosegay.
A nosegay. A little it's like a miniature bouquet.
I had no idea.
Well, I didn't want them to have to worry about pinning something or wearing a wrist corsage. A wrist corsage felt too prommy. So we did that. And then, the girls, she gave us extra flowers to put in the girls' hair, which was gorgeous. Did wreaths for the flower girls. So just all those little touches. I didn't have a florist vomit in the venue, but I think it was just enough.
It was perfect. We did a mix of high arrangements and low arrangements. And then we had the lighting company Pin Spot.
Yes, and I didn't think that was going to be as big of a deal as it was.
So let's go into that now, lighting. Yeah.
We went back and forth on the lighting a little bit because I'm like, I don't know. But the company we went with, they did an awesome job, and that was Discovery DJs and lighting. We didn't use them for their DJ services, even though they offered that. We just used them for the lighting. It was so cool. Whenever the music changed, the lighting changed. The pin spotting, you don't think of these things, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Yes, it does, because Dianthe, what she did, which I found really helpful, she sent me pictures of examples of with pin lighting and without pin lighting, and it was night and day difference.
Yeah, if you don't do pin lighting, you're spending all this money on all of this decor, but then nobody sees it because it's in the dark. So, you turn down the lights to, give a warm environment, but then nobody can see your tall centerpieces because they're standing up in the middle of darkness, or your cakes are over in the corner and there's no light on them. So you really can't see what they look like. And again, you've spent all this money. You want people to see it. So doing the pin spotting, I highly recommend it.
It reminded me of the lighting in a museum. You know how when there's a really nice piece in a museum and they shine the light on it to really make it pop out of the case. That's what all of our lighting reminded me of.
And I truly didn't think lighting was that important until my wedding.
Yeah.
Our wedding, honey.
Yeah.
But no, it's true. And then you look back at pictures of everybody dancing on the dance floor and all the colors were changing. It was just really beautiful.
Oh, it was cool when JC and all the guys were doing their Backstreet Boys bit on the dance floor.
And we were outside getting pictures. We missed it.
But
that's why you have a videographer.
Exactly.
I know. I can't wait
But all the lights were changing behind them as they were doing that bit. And then when we were doing our final dance, just the two of us together, if you look at some of the pictures there, it's real soft. Everything's kind of low key.
So that was Discovery DJs and lighting. Now, we didn't use them for the DJ services because we used Radio DJs, which every Friday morning we do Flush the Format. And we always use a DJ from radiodjs.com. Well, the head... what do you call him? The original gang? What do we call him? The Godfather. DJ Mike Morse.
My man.
He was awesome.
Oh.
I cannot tell you what a great experience everybody had.
Again, I will tell you, a bad DJ can ruin your reception.
Awesome.
I cannot tell you how many times I have seen a bad DJ. Oh my gosh, he was so good. The dance floor was packed the entire night.
He was wonderful. So DJ Mike Morse, there's a whole, list of DJs available at radiodjs.com. But if he's available, try to get DJ Mike Morse.
So good. And even when people think, it's not that hard, you just put together some songs. I've seen people who on really tight budgets who just put together like a playlist on, iTunes or whatever and just play it. But you have to read the room and you have to know what people are going to respond to. And you in your head, you may think, oh yeah, everybody's going to dance to this. And then nobody does. You have to be prepared to change that. And he was, even after we stopped down for cutting the cake, which can really kind of bring the room down because everybody stops down to go, or when you do bouquet and garter, everybody stops to look. After toasts, immediately everybody was back on the dance floor. It was packed the entire night.
That's really interesting you say that, Dianthe, because one thing I was watching Mike that night, and he looks at you. He's kind of looking around the room. He's, like you say, he's reading the room. He made eye contact with me a few times because he threw me a few bones. And
he's like, yeah, you noticed that?
Yeah, right. Played some songs that I liked or something that kind of fit in what was happening, like the garter toss or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
he did great.
He's great.
And we didn't, but I didn't use the DJ we didn't. I keep saying sorry, honey.
Okay.
For the ceremony music. And Alan really loves Metallica, Guns N' Roses. And you know how I feel about boy bands and pop music and Britney Spears. So I didn't want to do like a classical. I love the idea of a string quartet, but the string quartet playing pop music. And that's when we found the Dallas String Quartet.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
So good. Now, I'll be honest, they're a little bit pricey, but so worth it. And I can't. I wish I could have just been in the room to hear, because they're sitting there, and my whole thing was I wanted people to be sitting there listening to music, thinking, "Wait, is that Britney Spears?" And that's the kind of effect. Wait, what is that? Coldplay? And that's what was happening. And so, but then when it came, so while they're being entertained, while the audience has been being seated for like 30 minutes, they're playing all this different random pop music and stuff, and that was being received really well.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we trying to select the music for a ceremony is tough anyway. Then when you're trying to select music like pop music, and you don't want anything that's too over the top, but you want something that reflects you. And you really, really wanted the Backstreet Boys.
I really did.
And they did not have that. They had a million songs in their, repertoire, but that was one they did not have. And so when we did a three-way conversation with him, with Jan, and went back and forth, and Kellie just seemed really indifferent. And afterward,
I was really excited, yeah.
He called me back and he said, "She just does not seem excited about this, and I want her to love it." He said, "So I'm going to rewrite the Backstreet Boys for her."
Yeah, because you have to compose it for a string quartet.
Yeah.
So that was such a beautiful. I mean, I was so excited when they told me that.
I got the chills when he called me and told me. I literally had the chills. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you don't understand. She's going to love this."
I loved it. So we had the Beatles in my life.
And a lot of people have asked me, what's the music y'all played?
Yeah.
Beatles in My Life.
That was for the family.
That was for the families to walk in.
Now, this is where the one little glitch, because all I knew was I was standing there and I saw Dianthe waving her hands in the air like, no. But it was too late because Alan had already walked, and they were supposed to switch over at that point.
Right.
To, what was your song, babe?
Nothing Else Matters by Metallica.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't switch it. But you know what? We decided in hindsight that was the perfect mistake.
Oh, it was fine. I didn't even really hear what was going on because I was so caught up in the moment. I was holding my son Dylan's hand, watching Brooke and Cole walk in front of me, so I didn't even hear it.
Because it would have been such a quick snippet.
Yeah.
And number one, and number two, usually the music doesn't change except for the bride.
Right.
So that really worked out in
that we had everybody walk into the one song.
So everybody walked into the Beatles in My Life, and then it stopped, and then I'm standing there as they're starting to play As Long As You Love Me by the Backstreet Boys.
That was really cool.
But we wanted to come in on the chorus. So Dianthe's waiting there holding the door. Just hold it. Just one more second. And right when the chorus starts, she throws open the doors, and here I come.
Go!
And I'm just like, I walk around the corner, I see Alan standing there, and I just have one of those, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening moments. And my body kind of goes, oh.
Yeah, me too.
But it was so exciting. And I wish I could just do that walk down the aisle every weekend. Mm-hmm. That would be the best. That was the most fun, wonderful, happy. It was nervous excitement, but it wasn't like panic. It was just the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
You were floating, and Emma Kellie had a huge smile on her face.
Grinning, and Alan's grinning at me, and I could feel everybody looking at me, but I was looking at Alan, and it was just the best. I'm walking into the Backstreet Boys.
I have known you a long time, and that is the happiest I have ever seen you.
It was great.
If you could have exploded, I think you would have.
I would have, and it would have been a mess.
Oh, it was amazing.
But everybody knows, I mean, like we were talking about, the panic I had fitting into my wedding dress. Girl, that I never knew you could stretch a dress.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't either. But because I was buying a dress so last minute, I had to buy off the rack. Mm-hmm. And you watch all these shows, not Saved by the Dress, Yes to the Dress. And people come in and like, well, we're getting married and my budget is $15,000. I'm like, are you crazy? $15,000, $8,000, $3,000. I'm like, y'all are nuts. But when you're buying off the rack, you're limited between a rock and a hard place. So I paid probably more than I wanted to, but it was not they would not have been able to fit me at help me at Kleinfeld's because their dresses don't start below $2,000 at Kleinfeld's.
There hasn't been full disclosure on that either.
Do you want me to tell you how much?
No, not really.
It was less than $2,000. I will tell you
really?
that it was less than $2,000.
No kidding.
Yeah. But it was off. But
Wow.
I tried on several. I went,
dress is
honestly,
beautiful.
I went by myself the first time because I was in a rush situation. I wanted to at least get the silhouette that I wanted. I went to Mockingbird Lane Bridal Boutique. These wonderful women who've worked there for decades. They just don't leave there. And it's a wonderful little boutique-y Mockingbird Lane. It's on Mockingbird Lane Bridal Boutique. And I went in there just to get the silhouette, and I picked out like 3 dresses that I felt good about. And then I brought my mother back with me. And the lady, Miriam, who helped me, who was wonderful, she brought the dresses out and she said, I'm not going to tell you which order these are in, but I want you to try these on. And she handed me the first dress and I came out and she's like, nah, she goes, that was your number 3 choice. And the second one I tried on, I was like, I like that one better. She said, that was your number 2 choice. And then I came out in my number 1 choice and I was like, yeah. And she said, that's it. But the dress was too tight. And we thought, well, maybe if I lose 10 or 15 pounds, which
And when was this?
I
I
did.
forget when this was. How many months?
Well, we got married July 1st, and this was
This is a couple of
it was
months.
about 2
April,
months, wasn't
May,
Okay.
May maybe.
Yeah.
And so I immediately went on a diet, and people are like, "What's your secret? What's your secret?" I just counted calories. I didn't do any diet pills. I didn't want to do any of that nonsense. I didn't do colon cleanses or anything like that. Or I counted calories with MyFitnessPal app, and you type in how much you want to lose per week, and I said 1.5 pounds. And
How did you find out about that app? By the
But
way?
from you, baby.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes. And,
I was just curious.
And you literally, I'd be sitting along every day. I'd weigh myself. And I'm not losing weight. But by the end of the week, I'd lose 1.5 pounds.
Yeah.
No, it
So
works
anyway, I
well.
ended up losing the weight, but the dress still didn't fit because it wasn't measured for me.
Right.
So what she did was she let the underline, the satin liner or whatever it was out as much as she could, which was only about 1 inch. And then she had to stretch the lace. And I went back and nope, still doesn't fit. I said, okay, I'm going to go lose a few more pounds. I mean, I ended up losing like 18 pounds.
Wow.
And the dress was still tight.
But you went back like 3 times, right?
She said, I'm not letting you take it until this is perfect. And so literally, I didn't get the dress. It was less than a week before the wedding. I think I got it on Tuesday.
That is
And I got married on
hilarious.
Saturday, but she zipped it up and she said, perfect. So for the next few days, I was really careful. I watched sodium. I barely ate at the rehearsal dinner, and we went to Maggiano's where they just brought out buttloads of
Food
pasta.
on top of
Oh, man.
Food on top of food. That was what our
Yeah.
rehearsal dinner was. And it was great. They did us great. We had our little private
The private room
with
and-
our own bartenders. They could not have been nicer there, but they give you so much food. You'll be
fact,
taking a lot home.
family dining is.
I took
Oh,
2 or
yeah.
3 bites because I was like, I'm not blowing this the day before my wedding. You know,
You had a really pretty dress on that night too, and I remember you saying, "Hold the back of it" because it was loose.
I bought that dress before I lost 18 pounds.
Wow.
And so when I got there for my rehearsal, the
It
dress
swallowed
was
you.
falling off of me.
Oh, my gosh.
And so me and my girlfriend was like holding it in the back whenever I get my picture taken. But I'll tell you where I got that dress. I got it at Clothes Horse Anonymous. It's a clothing consignment store, and I hate to say this because everybody's going to start going there and they're going to take everything. I love this consignment store so much. My family came from South Carolina. I took them there. Everybody found something. Every time I go there, I find something.
Really?
This dress I got, the tags were still on it. It was brand new, and it was my rehearsal dress. And then the day of the wedding, my sister-in-law threw a bridal brunch. I bought another dress there for the bridal brunch from this consignment store. It's called Clothes Horse Anonymous. Love it.
They have
Y'all,
men's
please
stuff there too.
No,
Oh, it's all women's.
they have some really expensive stuff there, but my rehearsal dinner dress was less than $100, and my brunch dress was, I think, less than $50.
Nice.
Can't
But
beat
I mean,
that.
but there are really expensive designer stuff there too.
But still cheaper than what you'd pay for it at the store.
Way
though.
cheaper. And let's see, what else do we need to cover? Because I know we're running out of time. Oh, my hair. I moved up to the suburbs, but when I was down in Dallas, I always went to Studio 110, and Tori had done my hair for years and years and years. And because I'd gone up to the suburbs, I hadn't seen her in about a year. She called me when she heard me announce I was engaged on the radio. She goes, I don't care. I'm doing your hair for your wedding. That's my gift to you.
Aw.
But I, of course, paid her because I can't do that. Because she not only did my hair, honey, everybody that knew me was sitting there butt down in her chair. I felt so bad. Amy's daughters, my daughter, my mother, my cousins, everybody, Tommy Jean, Diana. I want an updo. I'm like, y'all. So I paid her. But Studio 110, Tori did my hair. And Alan wanted me to look natural. He didn't want me to do some big fancy updo coming out looking like
And I thought
somebody
that,
that's not me.
I thought that was perfect. I thought it was perfect.
She fluffed it up some. I'm going to tell you, we had a horrible rainstorm that day. The humidity was terrible. But by the time we got married, it was beautiful. But Tori worked with that hair and made it work. And then Janine Galante, she did all of our makeup when we were on Dish Nation. And I was like, girl, you're doing my makeup for the wedding. And she did it.
I'm glad you did things the way you did, though.
She's so sweet.
Yeah,
Janine Galante is just the sweetest human being. She's a Lady Gaga impersonator. And she did the girls' braids and did the flowers in their hair, and she did all that for me. But she's Makeup by Janine on Facebook if you want to look for her. But yeah, everybody we used, I think we've covered all the vendors. So happy with it. Alan, I mean, your experience, you got your suit, you bought that from Nordstrom.
Yeah, I was at Nordstrom Galleria.
Okay, so the girls' bridesmaids dresses, I was looking for bridesmaids dresses. They're like $200-$300. I'm like, bull crap. Got them at Dillard's. For $70 each.
Ooh, nice.
The bridesmaids dresses, the little, those were perfect, I thought. The flower girls dresses, same thing, but I got them over Easter, so they were on sale for like half price.
Nice.
And so they were nothing, also at Dillard's. The boys' suits from Target.
You know what? I saw that you'd posted that online, and I didn't know Target sold suits.
I did not either.
And they're really nice.
They were.
They were lined. They had like a maroon lining. They were navy suits with a maroon lining.
It's the Cat and Jack line. They just started carrying at Target like a year or two ago. And I didn't know they made suits either. And we had been looking everywhere trying to find matching suits for the boys. They're in two different size categories. And they didn't have, for girls, everything matches.
Right.
Boys, they don't.
Cole's 9, Dylan's 4. And the alterations were actually
more.
3 times as expensive as the suits were.
Than the suit.
Yeah, because, we did buy they're Target suits. They weren't that expensive, Cat and Jack line. But then we went and had them professionally altered because we didn't want them to be swimming in them.
Yeah.
And literally, the alterations cost more than the suits.
I never would have thought you got those from Target because they matched your suit exactly.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
They did.
That was crazy.
But you know what made the boys' suits really pop were those bow ties. They were pink and blue.
Oh, yes,
bow
they were
ties.
so cute.
We got those from Nordstrom, and then they wore blue Converse.
Just got those at the Converse outlet.
Converse store, yeah.
And the girls' shoes were... I'm going blank on the name.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, gosh, Steve.
They were pink high heels.
Steve.
Madden?
Oh. They were Steve Madden. And it was a nightmare because I knew that's the stylish shoe. I promised them they could wear heels. And all those shoes were sold out. So I had to order. I went to Zappos and I went to, I think, Nordstrom.
Oh.
And I ordered the pale pink and the hot pink. And of course, the girls wanted hot pink. And I ordered like 6 sizes because I didn't know what they were going to need.
Yep.
Kept 2 and shipped all of them back.
That's how I shop every day.
It was a nightmare, but that's where everything. But everybody kept commenting on the boys' Converse and the girls' pink shoes.
Aww.
So that's where we got those. And our rings. We'll talk about that. Alan got his from David Yurman.
It's a David Yurman ring. It's a thick ring. I guess it's like 10 millimeters thick, so it's a pretty weighty ring. And it's from
the Waves collection.
It's from their Waves collection, and it's got sapphires on it.
Yeah, and then mine, we had been looking around for rings, and I always thought I wanted a squared ring, and I was like, nothing was really making me feel anything inside. And then I found this big round one at a company I don't think I'll name, and but it was really, really expensive.
But they sell really expensive jewelry in really colorful boxes.
Yes, and so Alan went to a jewelry wholesaler.
Yeah, my brother-in-law has done business with this company, and my sister's ring is beautiful, so I had a reference or a referral.
You created this ring, you designed it with him. Y'all worked together. It's Bella. What was it called?
Bella Diamante. At the World Trade Center in Dallas.
Yeah. So there you go. I think that's every detail of our wedding.
You forgot photography.
Oh, gosh. I did forget photography.
Amy Karp.
Yes, Amy Karp Photography. I loved her. You just look at the websites from the photographers you're considering. And Dianthe really pushed me towards spending more for a photographer because that's what you have as your pictures.
When it's all said and done, that's all you have left. It is all you have left. And, everything's fresh in your mind now, but, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to want to remember those little details. And things that just escape you. And I've been friends with Amy for a while. She's a fantastic reputation, in the industry. And again, we had a limited time, and everybody was booked.
I was lucky she was available.
And I emailed a couple of people and I was like, please tell me you're available on the 1st. And she's like, yes, I'm available. And I was like, okay. And I called Kellie and I was like, okay, here she is.
Yeah. And she was really good. I love the energy of her photos. And sometimes they'll make you stand in these ridiculous positions, and Alan and I were like, this is going to be so stupid. And then you see the picture and it's beautiful.
It turned out great. Yeah, and one thing she's a photographer, obviously a very good professional photographer that has that eye. I mean, they capture moments that are so quick and so thoughtful that when you're just in the wedding participating in what's going on, you don't see them. But if you go back and look at some of the things she captured, it's like, holy moly.
Yeah.
I am so glad you got that on film.
So Amy Karp, and then the video, which we haven't gotten the video back yet, but I know he's going to do a great job. Pro Edit Productions.
Yeah.
So hopefully you won't be sick of seeing some video edits because we'll be posting those too, I'm sure. But he was great. I mean, it was just, I told him the size of my wedding, and he told me, how much it would cost for one or two. And he's like, but with, less than 200 people, he said, I can do it myself. And he wasn't intrusive.
Yeah.
And
he blended in.
Yeah. And he just asked us to pick like 4 or 5 songs that he can work into the background music. So we picked some songs that meant a lot to us, and we'll see when that comes out, hopefully pretty soon. But now did I get everything down there?
Now you got everything. So I want to know what your favorite part of the night was.
Well, my favorite part was walking in. The walking down the aisle. I wish I could do that over and over and over again, because I'll never be able to recreate that feeling I had where it's just like, it just hit me. I can't even explain it. It's like this feeling came in my chest. So I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
You're like,
and
this
it was
is
just
the perfect moment.
It was the perfect moment. And then I'm standing up there, and my brother's doing the ceremony, and he did a wonderful job. And Ryan Raspberry, if he's available for weddings, if you want to call him, I'm sure you can find him on Facebook. But he did a great job. He's charming, he's handsome, and he made some lighthearted jokes. My family's there from South Carolina. Alan had his family come in from as far away as Alabama. So that was really great. But the actual ceremony was my favorite part.
Yeah, I think, obviously watching you walk in was an amazing feeling. You were like floating towards me almost. That, and then also walking into the reception as the new couple, and just kind of scanning the room and seeing everyone's face. It's like, oh my gosh, they're so happy for us, and just seeing all of our friends and family there. It's amazing.
Yeah, that reminded me, like during the ceremony, I was like, I'm so busy looking at Alan and my brother. I was like, I want to see what's going on behind me. And so I just I don't know how awkward this is going to look, but I was like, I just want to see everybody. So I just stopped and took a moment and looked around the room.
And it was so cute. It was I think that it was one of the most genuine ceremonies I've ever seen, because I think, part of it with Ryan being your brother and really being able to work in, specific details.
Stuff.
Yeah, specific to you guys. But it was just so warm, and it was just you.
Yeah.
It was very much you and Alan. And when you turned around and you're like, hold on, I just want to see everybody.
I just want to see who's here. I just want to see who came and count who didn't.
It was adorable, though.
There were quite a few, I wouldn't say a lot, but we did have a few no-shows that,
Yeah.
That costs you money, people. I'm just going to tell you.
Here, I'll be the bad guy here. If you're going to no-show on somebody at a wedding, at least tell them.
Yeah.
Don't just no-show.
Don't just no-show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it does,
It's rude.
It's common courtesy.
And there's things that do happen. There are emergency situations, but you have to, like in our case, we had a lovely dinner, by the way. Everybody was complimented. And wedding food is sometimes iffy. Our dinner was great.
It was.
But you had to pay for that meal, whether somebody showed up or not. And not only that, with the bar situation, we had to pay a fee as if somebody was there, whether they were there or not.
Yeah.
So it cost us a good bit of money for people that didn't show up. So there's that. We don't want to sound like
99.9% of the wedding was perfect,
Other than
beautiful. But
I'm not going to let that ruin it.
No,
not ruin it
not.
by any stretch of the imagination. But I loved, Alan. We incorporated a lot of your artwork in the wedding. You designed the wedding invitation because you love tattoos. So we did like a tattooy rose pattern with our names and the wedding date in it, and then we used that throughout all the the place settings for the table, any signage. Instead of a wedding book registry, we had a big poster that we had people sign that we can frame and hang somewhere in the house.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's another vendor that's kind of behind the scenes. But I drew all that original art, and then Boss Man George had contacted a company called Digital Something Print. It's on the website, digitalmps.com, digitalmps.com. But anyhow, they do a lot of printing for George, and he hooked me up with this company, and he said, well, we don't really print a lot of wedding invitations, but for you guys, we can definitely make it
so don't
work.
contact them about wedding invitations.
They don't do a lot of wedding invitations, but if you have any business printing needs, that's
they did a great
that's
job.
what they do. Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And we had the AbracabooYES hashtag that we used for everything. You can go like to Instagram. If you search that hashtag, you can see a lot of pictures from the night. Oh, we had the camera set up. What's it called, Robert? The company that George has, the cameras. Simplebooth.com. Simplebooth.com. It's really fun because you don't have to wait for a printout, because what do you do with those printouts anyway?
You throw them in a drawer.
You throw them in a drawer and you forget about them. These go directly to your cell phone, so you can upload them on your social media. And as there's also a gallery there, so I, as the bride, and anybody can go back and see everybody's photo booths from that night.
Fun.
And they're
that
the
was
ones
Simplebooth.com.
They do 3 different poses, and then they animate, so you can do a different pose each time.
It's like a GIF.
Yeah.
GIF.
Yeah.
GIF. I've never known for sure.
But the first time I did that with you, I was just standing there like a statue because I didn't know you were
He didn't know he was supposed to move.
So I'm just
Stood there, and I'm like moving all around him, and he's literally in the same pose.
like a tree.
Which is kind of a good bit.
That was a funny bit. I'll do that again someday.
So anyway, that's okay. That's everything from our
that's a lot.
wedding.
That's a lot.
Everything. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you real quick just a couple of my favorite parts of the day, because for me, being the planner and kind of a guest, I got to see a couple
On
of
your
different
birthday.
on my birthday.
Yes.
Thank you for having a wedding on my birthday.
You're welcome.
I loved Kellie. You invited me to her bridal brunch, which was super, super sweet. I loved getting to meet your cousins and Tommy Jean and Diana. I loved that.
Yeah.
Loved that. They are so amazing. They made me want to move to Florence.
I know, right?
They're so sweet. And then we set up the iPad so that Aunt Velma could see the ceremony. And
that was a last minute call. Thank you for making that happen.
You're welcome. But what was funny was, so we went through all kinds of things to get that set up and tested. And the Dallas String Quartet was setting up, and they were, kind of warming up as I was finishing that up. And people were kind of starting to trickle in. And the lead, Jan, looked at me and he said, are you ready? I said, yeah. And the first song they played was Viva La Vida by Coldplay. And that song always reminds me of Kid.
Yeah.
And so when I was like, I got the chills. I was like, okay, I got to get out of here before I have a mental breakdown.
And then my brother, the theme of his wedding was
Keep looking up.
Keep looking up, because that's where it all is. And I had no idea he was going to do that.
And that was perfect.
And then I hear Caroline.
Well, your brother
I was like, are you okay, Caroline? She goes, that was happy tears.
Your brother
That was
made me crack
beautiful.
too. So
Yeah, Alan was crying. I was the only one that didn't cry. I was like, this is great.
Best wedding ever.
Best wedding ever. And it was mine.
And then at the very end of the night, the last slow song that DJ Mike Morse played was now I can't think of the name of the song.
I don't think I'd ever heard it before.
I've heard it because I hear it at weddings all the time, and it's either a first dance song or the end of the night. Oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it, but that was when it hit me. Like everything, because when you're from a planner perspective, you're going all day on adrenaline and it's nonstop. So then when it's, somebody that you know and somebody that you love and that you care about, it's really like, you're just in it you're in the zone the whole day. And I was dancing with my husband, and tears just started streaming down my face, because it was just like, oh my gosh, this was like the perfect night. It was the perfect
good.
night. It was my perfect birthday. It was awesome.
The lamest part of the night, I'm just going to bust my husband.
Okay, and we'll talk about that right here too.
Was the send off. This is going to be the longest podcast we're ever going to have. I know we're talking so long.
Okay, you give your position on the send off, and then I'll rebut your position.
Sparklers. It was a nighttime wedding. I wanted sparklers. Alan's like, you need to Google sparkler injuries and sparkler horror stories. So I did. And of course, it's always worst case scenario. But Alan was terrified the children are going to be burned. I'm like, well, the children aren't going to be there, because his 4-year-old would have been long gone to bed by then. Everybody's going to be old enough. He's like, people are going to be drunk. There's going to be fire hazards. Da, da, da. Then the venue wasn't exactly real encouraging of the sparklers either. They were like, well, we will light them for everybody. I said, well, that's going to take forever. So it was like, what are my options? Bubbles? I was like, well, they're not going to show up at night. Glitter? No, I hate glitter.
Rice?
All this stuff you can't do. There are all these rules. I thought confetti bombs. That'd be beautiful pictures. Can't do confetti bombs there with the streamers, because they said no. So I finally found these ribbons on a string.
With little bells?
They were that was the lamest send-off ever.
Can I respond to some of this?
So, and everybody's waving these lame strings. Don't do ribbons. If you're trying to think of an alternative to sparklers, don't do ribbons. Think of something else. I'd rather have done nothing.
Here's the deal. I know there weren't going to be any young kids there at that time. Sparklers burn at 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, they can almost melt steel.
How did I survive childhood?
There was one guy I was worried about burning somebody, and he ended up injuring somebody at the reception. Who was that one guy?
Part-time Justin.
Part-time Justin. And if Part-time Justin was holding a sparkler, I can guarantee you that somebody would have got burned.
What if we just said everybody can hold a sparkler except Part-time Justin?
Then he would have felt left out.
So instead, we're just throwing him under the bus and saying, you're the reason we had a lame send-off.
Exactly.
He would have fallen into somebody with a sparkler and his hair would have caught on fire.
I love Justin, but that guy, once he, has a few, he's all over the place.
So we've got lame ribbons at the end.
And nobody got hurt.
And it was boring.
Nobody got hurt.
But at least I got into a cute little 2-seater convertible, babe. That was fun. We got to drive off in your little weekend car, so that was cute.
That was fun.
All right, so that is for those of you still listening. If you want to know any details,
it's the first 3-hour podcast I've ever done.
I know.
Yeah.
But for pictures, you can go to kellieandallen.com, and it's KELLIE and ALLEN.com, and there's more pictures. Alan posted a ton of them, and you can see Dianthe on there too. And Dianthe, you also have a podcast you do with Shannon.
I do at the Stuff podcast.
At what?
At the Stuff.
At the Stuff.
Well, it's the stuff. It's Stuff with Shannon, and so that's the name of so on our Facebook page, it's At the Stuff.
Oh, I was like,
okay. At the Stuff
that made no. Okay,
gotcha.
I wasn't understanding what you were saying. I was like, At the Stuff, so stupid.
Shannon did it.
It's Stuff with Shannon. That's right. Okay, but and Dianthe. I don't know why you didn't make it in the title.
Yeah, well, Stuff with Shannon and Dianthe is kind of long. Dianthe's a long name.
A sandwich and some lovin' isn't long. But anyway, thank you, Dianthe, so much.
Yeah,
we couldn't have done
much,
it without
Dianthe.
you.
It was so welcome.
So
it was
perfect.
You can call and beg Dianthe to coordinate your wedding, but I have a feeling unless you're coming with a lot of zeros, the answer is going to be no.
She told me she's not coming out of retirement.
I'm really not.
For the right amount of money, she will.
Yeah, everybody has a price.
It's going to be a lot of money.
But thank you so much, Dianthe,
You're
for
welcome.
everything
I love you guys.
and for being here today. We love you too. And that's it.
So in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich.